Today's paper. This is Terry Cringle, and today's paper is the Manks Mercury and Briscoe's Douglas Advertiser of Tuesday, March the 5th, 1793, price 2p. The Manks Mercury, Manks with a KS, was the Isle of Man's first newspaper. It started publication in 1792 and survived until about 1801. It's not big, 4 pages, each of which is not much bigger than A4, and in the front page is a poem addressed in the most fulsome terms to the most noble John, Duke of Athol, Lord Lieutenant and Governor of the Isle of Man. It seems that in making my entirely random choice of this particular newspaper, I happen to have chosen the one which reports the Duke's arrival in the island to take up his official position as governor. His lordship has sailed into Ramsey from his estates in Scotland, travelled by horseback overnight to Douglas, and then on to Castle Rushen to be sworn in. The Mercury says the courtroom at the castle was crowded with a genteel assemblage of both sexes, whom his Grace addressed in a handsome and animated speech, expressive of his attachment to the island, and assurances of unremitting attention to its interest and welfare. Now, this doesn't entirely fit the verdict of history. His father, the 3rd Duke, had been the last Lord of Man, who in 1765 had sold the island back into possession of the Crown under the revestment. But the 4th Duke retained manorial and family rights in the island, and this accounts for him being appointed governor. History also shows that he didn't spend all that much time in the island, even though he was engaged in negotiating with the government in London for a sellout of his family's remaining Manx rights, which he eventually achieved in 1826, when for a very handsome payout to him of more than £400,000, the island finally passed unreservedly to the Crown. His lordship not only devoted his attention to the interest and welfare of the Isle of Man, but also to the interest and welfare of himself. But that was in the future, for now, in 1793, the Manx people are welcoming the new governor with bonfires and illuminations and flag flying, and that loyal poem of greeting in the front page of today's paper, the Manks Mercury of March the 5th, 1793. Now, what else is there? Well, the estate of Orrisdale in the parish of Michael, comprising 70 acres, is to be let, and is fit for the reception of a genteel family. The Royal Navy is in Douglas seeking volunteers to serve king and country in the war against France, with able seamen paid a signing-on bounty of £5. And there is the following very interesting public notice in the back page, which must have attracted much reader attention. Whereas I, the Reverend Daniel Nelson of the parish of Kirkchrist Rushen, and my wife Elizabeth Nelson, otherwise Christian, of the parish of Kirkbride, have lived separately for some time past, and for prudent reasons intend to continue so, and as I have allowed her a reasonable maintenance, and am disposed to do so according to my ability, as the said Elizabeth Nelson has lately embezzled a great part of my substance, and incurred some debts on my behalf, has afflicted and distressed me in many respects, and endeavoured as much in her lies to render me incapable of paying my creditors. This is to give notice that if she contracts any debt in future on the score of my credit, I am determined not to pay it. Well, there's some juicy scandal involving a clergyman and his wayward missus, and no doubt it was well read by the genteel people of the Isle of Man in today's paper, which has been the Manks Mercury and Briscoe's Douglas Advertiser of Tuesday, March the 5th, 1793.
Today's paper.